Welcome again, Trailblazers. In today's video, I will share with you some knowledge about the basics of team building in Honkai Star Rail. I won't annoy you with long explanations and numbers, but instead I will just give you a general idea about what you should focus on when leveling your characters, in order to not lose too many resources during your journey in the game. Let's then start with the matter at hand. This is not Genshin Impact, so leveling only the main DPS, and giving him some low-level supports, will not work in Honkai Star Rail. Instead, the game wants you to create a solid roster of characters, to use when needed against specific encounters. If you're asking yourself why, here's the answer. All enemies in this game will have a toughness bar, and breaking this bar will make the monster take more damage and lose turns of actions. In order to break the toughness bar, you will need to hit them with specific elemental attacks that match their elemental weakness. So, this is the first basic rule. Having a good coverage of elements in your roster will give you an easy time when facing different encounters. Above all in more difficult activities like Forgotten Hall and Simulated Universe. Then your aim at the start of the game should be having at least 5 characters that covers all the basic elements: fire, ice, lightning, wind and physical. For a more accurate progression priority, my advice is to level up a lightning character first, then a wind one, fire and ice after those two, and then physical. In the first and second planets you will encounter a lot of monsters weak to lightning, so having a good unit with this element is very important. Imaginary and Quantum are more rare elements right now. They are very good to have, but the only viable characters are Welt and Seal, both 5 stars. Last option is Queenku, but we will talk about her later in the video. With high investment in Eidolons, it is possible to brute force encounters in this game, but let's leave this for the Wales players. My free-to-play friends will surely enjoy my advice better. The full team is formed by 4 units, and when building a team there is one role that cannot be missing: the sustained character, commonly known as the healer. We don't know yet how strong are shields in this game, so for now we will stick to healing. Indeed, focusing your resources into your healer will be the smartest thing you can do at the start of the game. Having a very good sustain will help you a lot in battle, and even let you clear very difficult or over-level encounters. That settles it then. What do we need next? But of course, some DPS. For your first team, try to have a single target DPS and an AoE DPS. Even better if they are wind and lightning. Last slot can be a support character that have an useful element for toughness break, and some buff for the team, or maybe shields for more sustain. It can also be another AoE DPS for faster clears during the story. Feel free to use any character you like for last slot. You can even save this slot for testing some new units, without losing too much overall power. When creating a team, another thing to consider is the skill point management. At the beginning of the battle, you will start with 3 skill points, and when using a character's skill you will lose 1. You will gain instead 1 skill point when using a normal attack. So balancing normal attack and skill usage will help you a lot when fighting with your team. Considering skill point usage rotations is a more advanced matter. For now, just focus on how the skill point system works, and try to build your team the best you can. Just remember about the elemental coverage. That will help you a lot if you're free to play. There are a lot of guaranteed characters we will get for free in your first days playing Honkai Star Rail. And here I will give you a very fast TLDR summary of those units. Keep up with me, this will be very fast. Natasha, physical healing's focused unit that scales on HP. At Eidolon 1 her skill will cleanse debuffs. Hertha, Ice AoE DPS, with easy to proc follow-up attacks. We get 4 copies by doing Simulated Universe. Serval, Lightning AoE dots DPS, free from event. Her element weakness is practically everywhere. Asta, fire support, ult buff speed. Talon buffs team attack when hitting multiple targets with skill. Danheng, wind single target DPS. Skill slows enemy if crits. Ult does more damage to slowed enemies. March 7th, Ice support. Skill shields ally boosting taunt and cleansing debuffs. She counterattacks when shielded unit is attacked. Queen Ku, Quantum AoE DPS. RNG base. When she gets 4 same tiles, basic attacks becomes AoE. Main character. Physical all-around DPS. Able to decent single and AoE damage. Technique heals. Natasha will be probably your only healer at the start of the game. And even if you find Bailu, you will probably use her as second healer for Forgotten Halls clear. Serval and Dan Heng are very solid options to consider when choosing which character to level up, for their overall performances in their roles. In my opinion, Heta is still a very good AoE damage dealer, even after the nerfs and last closed beta testing. So, think about it, and give Kurukuru a chance. Asta and March 7th have very good synergies in many teams. Useful elements and good kits overall, so don't sleep over them. Queen Ku is free from clearing low-level Forgotten Hall stages, but is probably not recommended building her, due to her RNG-based gameplay. If you like her and manage to let her kit work, she will be a very good asset for you. Remember to level up your main character, because it's needed for some story-related encounters. But my advice is to not invest in her physical element traces for now, because you will probably use her second element more after unlocking it. Last thing I wanted to share about this matter is that you can try to speedrun your Trailblaze level to 15 by rushing the main story quest and get enough pulls for your first 5 stars from the beginner banner event, in order to add the character you'll get to the equation. But do not worry, no need to rush. You will need 8 characters for Forgotten Halls anyway, and many of the unit presented are valid options to run. Now that we have a general idea of which are the basic rules to follow in team building, and the free-to-play options characters we have, let's see how much we should invest into our initial roster, in order to not waste too many resources later on. Your first aim until Trailblaze level 20 should be a full team of 4 characters, including a healer and a lightning unit. Level them equally, prioritizing the healer first, and equip them with what you find during your story progression. For a detailed explanation on relics and light cones, check my head start video. For traces, prioritize ultimate, and then skill, passive talent and basic attack. Mostly of units will benefit a lot from the ult, because it costs no skill points and can be used outside the character turn. You can also level the other passive buffs if you have spare materials, but skip them if you think you're gonna drop a character later on. Leveling a character to level 40 with traces level 3 is in my opinion the soft spot of investing. Doing so will not cost you a lot of materials, and the unit will be ready to level if needed as an extra in simulated universe, or for a specific element breaking Forgotten Hall. Then your aim for Trailblaze level 40 plus should be at least 8 units with all 5 basic elements covered, and 2 to 4 sustain and support characters. After that you surely will figure out the rest for yourself, according to your roster. I believe in you. Lastly, let's talk about the relic investing. As you already know, until Trailblaze level 50, equip your characters with what you find from the quest rewards, shops, chests and weekly activities. Try to upgrade at least 4 full 4 pieces relic sets to level 9 plus. About the 2 pieces relic sets, it's okay to spend some Immersifier to get blue and purple planar spheres with elemental damage bonus. They will improve a lot your overall DPS. Let's now give you some team comps that will probably work well at the start of the game. First thing first, we will decide that our core team will be Natasha and Serval. One for the healing necessary for sustain, and the other for the lightning damage. As we already told, very useful during the exploration of the first 2 planets. Then let's add Dan Heng, our very solid wind element single target DPS. Our last spot can be anything. Let's just remember that we have physical, lightning and wind element in the party, so should be preferred an ice or fire unit. Let's then choose Asta for the speed and act buff. Very versatile, and her fire element will help covering more toughness break bars. We have now our solid initial team with a simple rotation, where Asta and Natasha will use their skill when needed, using normal attack to recharge skill points. Serval and Danhang will probably always use their skills, using normal attacks only when you will need points for the sustain and support units. Another fun synergy will be creating a team around counters. If you get Claire from your pulls, the core is still Natasha and Serval, but we will add March 7th and Claire in the team. The peculiarity of Claire is that when she is attacked, Sverog will retaliate with a counter-attack. If we add to the equation March 7th's shield, she will also attack back when Claire gets hit, creating a fun and strong synergy. Let's now say you get Himeko from your pulls, like I did in beta. You can try a very fun follow-up attack team with Herder. Very fast for farming and exploring, I must say. I think you get the overall picture now. Just try to follow those basic advices I gave you. And feel free to test new teams and synergies. Even if you drop a leveled unit because you get a stronger one in the banners, remember that you will probably use them anyway in the Forgotten Hall, because you will need 2 full teams with the right elements in harder stages. As I say every time in my videos, don't stick too much to tier lists. If you like a unit, level it. In this game everything is viable. Even niche units have its own strengths. As always, thanks for watching. Also thanks to all the new subscribers, all the comments, all the likes and the sharing of my memes on Reddit and Hoylab. I really appreciate your support, and like you I'm really looking forward to the release of Honkai Star Rail. See you soon, Trailblazers. May this journey lead us starward. Thanks for watching, Trailblazer. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch for more Honkai Star Rail feature content, at the link in the description.